Welcome back, and we're moving into our final segment for today as we focus our conversation on the United States initiative, the Young Leaders of the Americas initiative, and why you should apply. We have with us the 2016 Alumni Fellows. We have Andrew Munnings, Karyn Dawson, and Hernan Urbina. Good morning and welcome. Welcome back. All right.
Thanks for having us.
So, of course, what is currently taking place is the application period for the Young Leaders of the Americas initiative. And it gives us a great opportunity to speak with you guys who have had the prior experience as to why people should apply and what they can expect. But before we move into all of that, let's just take the opportunity to find out what you guys have been up to. Andrew? You were very motivated by your time spent with it was the Boy Scouts?
The Boy Scouts
of America, yeah.
My experience from that, I mean, when this new application came out, I wanted to sign up again. Since last year, I am now the CARICOM Youth Ambassador. I am now on the executive board of the Social Investment Funds. I have my program, the Primary School Transitional Program, that is running so beautiful at this point. I am working on the High School Transitional Program into sixth form right now. And yes, I am still with the Department of Youth Services.
Yeah. So you've definitely been able to capitalize on the momentum that you got when you had your experience with the Boy Scouts.
Most definitely, and I am still in contact with the Boy Scouts of America. So what I got from last year was that relationship foundation with Latin America, other people from the Caribbean, and international foundation and relationship.
Yeah. And Karyn, tell me about what you've been up to.
Okay, well, my project is Shop the Belize.
Yeah.
And for those of you who are not familiar with it, you can visit www.shapdabelize.com. One of the key things that I took from the program was the importance of documenting processes and expanding and harvesting my network. And so what I have been doing along with my team behind the scenes is we've really been working on implementing these processes, putting them on paper rather than keeping them just in our heads. And then we also received several recommendations while we were there on how we can make the business more attractive for business owners here in Belize. So we actually have made extensive progress in redesigning as well as with the process. So you should be seeing us doing our relaunch here in June. But for anyone who wants to actually participate in our, we're doing countrywide testing right now. Anybody who wants to participate in that as a seller or a buyer, they can sign up today on the website. Only if you sign up on today's date will you be able to participate in those testing. And again, as a seller, to test, you will actually be able to test like a free store online and things like that. So this is the time to sign up.
So, you know, definitely part of the skills you learned was using marketing opportunities when they present themselves. So your free testing day or your sign-up testing day is well timed. But also, if I could tap back into the experience that you had, you worked with an online retailer. When your particular fellowship was with an online retailer.
Right.
What were some of the specific things that you learned through that experience that you have been able to execute?
Okay, I was matched with Jet Digital Marketing, which is an online business. They focus particularly on marketing. And so while they did not do online selling the way we think about eBay or Amazon, the fact that they focus and market their business strictly online, and they had a small office and a small team, I was able to benefit from that directly. Because since my office is being set up on Albert Street, it's a small team, and so I was able to learn from them in terms of how to set up and manage a small team, establishing that culture in the office, determining and defining the core values early and how that impacts the type of staff you have, the type of service that you deliver to your customers and so forth. That was critical for me as well. What I also learned from that experience with digital marketing was the importance of trusting your team and being able to develop your team in a way where if something happens to you today, God forbid you die, that the business does not have to die as well. And that is critical, I think, especially in our culture here in Belize.
I was going to say, that is something extremely important, because in Belize, a lot of people have this sense of trying to keep all the information for themselves, and the owner must hold all the possible skills and knowledge. To take that route.
No, we can't. Not if we want to be able to impact the economy in Belize for a long-term standpoint. It is one of our hope that after we apply what we've learned from the program and we can prove to others that this is actually effective, that we would be able to collaborate with other organizations and be able to share with other entrepreneurs or other freelancers how they can help this as well.
Okay, and Hernan? I thought we were going to have ice cream samples today.
Marketing.
Tell me about what you've been up to.
Okay, well, since coming back from YLAI, I was so focused on making my business a franchise. But like I said before with Amy, she told me, slow your horse. She told me you need to do a lot more with your business before you start expanding. So what I did with my business was I started focusing on my business itself, Iceberg. I started to implement some strategies with my staff so they can feel like more than staff. With Amy's, what we learned was that with your staff, to make them feel happy, you need to make them feel more like part of the company. You know, they're not just working there, they're part of their staff. You need to motivate them. So that was what I have been doing. And I have been working a lot with making everything more electronical. So in case I was to move from an Iceberg to another Iceberg, I would have everything backed up already.
Okay. Now tell me about what have been the benefits that you've seen building this relationship with your staff, because that's also very common. When you talk about the employer-employee relationship, people prefer a certain hierarchy. The model you are trying to implement is a lot different in terms of getting people to buy in to the company itself. What has been the difference since you took that approach?
Well, for me, it was that I need to make the employees feel like they want to work. You know, I had a problem with my staff before that they were just there, they didn't have the ganas, like we say, to work, you know. And when I started implementing these programs, I talked to them, if you have any problem, just come to me, we can work something out. If you have an idea that you want to implement, tell us and we can make it work. You know, there was this girl who was selling ice cream and we know she wasn't too happy. So I was like, let's see what happened. Is there something wrong? She's like, you know, I'm good at baking. So now we helped her, she became the baker of her ice cream parlor. You know, she makes the cake, she makes the pizza doughs and sort of stuff like that. So you give them the guys to want to come to work and actually, you know, I'm here, I want to work.
All right. And you're finding the same?
Well, in my case, because we're developing the processes, we're preparing for the team, for the staff.
Okay.
So what we've actually been doing is working on our policy document and things like that. Because again, when you come into a culture where there is no document or guide for you and you're expected to remember what you were taught on the first day, it really affects your decision making on a daily basis. And we want to prevent that before we get to that point.
Those are some great models that you're trying to implement. So let's move it forward now in terms of looking at the upcoming cycle. The application process is currently open for this initiative. And you guys were telling me it's even easier to apply now than when you first did it. Tell me about that.
Okay, well, since we were applied back then, we needed to do a business plan. And in the business plan, we had to have certain steps. But this time, they made the application a lot more easier. Whereas that when you're applying online, the question is already there, it's detailed. So you just need to put in their information. You don't need to be worrying about uploading anything. So they made the process a lot more easier for the applicants this time.
Okay. Any tips on being successful?
I would say try to be as concise with your responses. And I think this is why they adjusted the form. So they asked the question specifically in the hope to receive specific responses. So try to keep your responses specific. Write them out first, if that helps you, or type them up in a Word document, and that way you can just proofread it before you submit that information on there.
My tip for success is always be true to yourself and be yourself. I I can definitely say that for the last 3 years within this whole youth development, Andrew Munnings are the same person. I still funny, I still give my joke and all of those stuff, but I understand when the playtime, when the work time. So I want all Belizean young persons to know that you don't have to create a new you. You don't have to intimidate somebody else and say, you know what, I have to talk like this or be like this. Yes, it is always good to look good, to be professional and all of those stuff, but never along the process of finding self-worth change who you are.
So last year you guys had to do the business plans, and as you're pointing out right now, the online application contains everything, all the questions that are necessary. What about the qualifications? What qualifies one to even apply?
They need to be between the ages of 21 to 35.
Okay.
They need to have at least 2 years professional experience. And those are the two main things that they would need. There are several little other ones, but those are the two major ones.
Yeah.
I think what is important for Belizeans to realize is that there's no need to be intimidated by the process, and there's no need to be intimidated by those you've seen gone before you, because I think Hernan and I, we share the same sentiment. When we applied for the program and when we met or even saw who the other participants were from the other countries, it could be intimidating if you let that define how you're going to go forward.
Yeah.
In other words, what we're saying is you don't have to be that person with the master's degree or the PhD. You don't have to be in that field that is defined as a doctor or things like that. We have much respect for those, but that is not what you need to be to get through this program. What you need to do is first define what is it that you are doing, what is it that you're passionate about, and go from that point. Have confidence in what you're doing. Recognize that you're going there to learn. They're not expecting perfection from you in that application, because if when they read your application and you're perfect, then they can't help you. And so that is critical.
Yeah, I appreciate what you're saying, because I think another area I wanted to look at was how far do you have to be with the initiative that you're interested in pursuing. In other words, you had your ice cream shop already established, so did you with Shop the Belize, and you had the concept for your primary school program. Can someone just have one dream in mind that they've always wanted to pursue and still apply?
I know that last year in the cohort that participated last year, there were definitely participants who were at the concept stage. They had their concept and they applied with that. What was, I think, critical for them is that they were able to articulate that concept and they were able to fill in the information with their projections and so forth. So that was critical, I believe, for them to get in. But the program is designed in such a way that when they conduct leadership training, which we had to do while we were over there, they covered information that perhaps maybe someone like Hernan, who has years of experience, may consider basic, but they also did trainings for perhaps that would have been at a higher level.
Yeah.
But this is where the part of the program comes in where you're actually assigned a mentor, and you're actually assigned your what we call the city hubs. They try to find a mentor that caters to your needs, that caters to your industry. And so that's where they start to narrow it down at that point.
At that point, what I noticed with the application process, since there's no business plan, and the way you're answering the question is going to make it a lot more easier for them to find a mentor that's more suited towards your needs.
Okay.
Because we had certain problems with back then, that certain applicants, they didn't find that they meshed well with their mentors. So with this application process, they'll be able to find a mentor that suits your needs more.
I also want, because Hernan and Karyn are both owners of business and all of those stuff. I deal with social work and all of those stuff. So I want to ask all those young persons that deals with NGOs and all of those stuff, because I am always asked if it is only for young entrepreneurs. No, it's not only for them. If you have an NGO, if you have a youth group and you are active within your community, this is the platform for you as well. A lot of people wait for opportunities, but the best opportunities are the ones that you create.
And once again, if someone applies, what is the process to be actually approved as one of the fellows?
Okay. From our experience, it was 2 stages. You submitted your initial application, and from that, at least I think at that point we had over 4,000 applicants globally. And they had selected a certain percentage of that to move on to the second round. In the second round, again, from our experience, we had done an interview online, and then from that point, they selected their finalists. It's important to mention that the fact that they've adjusted the form suggests that they have actually are being committed to making the process easier.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That said, I want to believe that the second round might actually be a little easier as well. Maybe I should say user-friendly, right? But the thing about it is that we've been through the program. What they did at the end of that program was to dialogue with us for our suggestions or recommendations through the application process, the program itself. Hernan mentioned that some people did not mesh well with their mentors. That we had an opportunity to give a feedback or whether or not, and so I think they're obviously adjusting it to see how they can better cater for you.
Absolutely. And are there guaranteed spots for Belize, or is it simply on your qualifications based on everybody else who's applying from around the world?
When I had read it last year, I had actually read that they are aiming to at least cater for 1%. Hey, I'm not saying that they're guaranteed more than that, but they try to at least cater for 1% from each participating country.
Okay.
That said, we got to go with a force.
Yeah.
It's an opportunity for Belize. Obviously, it gives you a global perspective on entrepreneurship, on how people see you and see your country. It's a great way for us to start redefining the way we do things, shift our mentality from working in our business to working on our business. It's a great opportunity. Belizeans should not overlook this opportunity. I think this is the time to explore this, reach out to us individually.
I was just going to say,
we're all on.
Have you all been talking to people you know about applying?
Yeah, I recently had a Q&A on my Snapchat where I was asking, applicants were sending me their questions I was answering. One of the biggest concern was that they told me, hey, this looks too intimidating. And I told them, hey, I was intimidated when I applied. I have an ice cream store, and some of the applicants, they had apps for reaching out to architects and certain stuff. So I was like, how can I apply? But then, hey, I came in second in my pitch competition. So it's like, it's like Belizeans shouldn't be intimidated by this. They should just go ahead and apply.
Last year when I applied, honestly, I never know what I'm going to get myself into. Most things that I usually apply for, I just, this not happen. I would just do it. 17 and whatever happened. And now I realize that once you work for something, once you put your all into something, it is possible. So to all Belizeans, we feel like any other country is bigger than we or whatever, trust me, deep within, we could become a first world country if we want right now.
I have been communicating more on one-on-one with persons who have been interested, and I've also been dialoguing with this young man, Amram Lemot. He's from Kaya side, and so he's been sharing the information out that side, and we've agreed that in the event that there are persons interested from that area, then I would communicate with them and assist them in that regard as well.
Okay, what's the website?
It's YLAI.state.gov/apply.
Or also on Facebook at Young Leaders of the Americas Initiative, YLAI.
All right. And the deadline?
It's this Friday.
This Friday.
April 28th.
So if somebody's interested today, you think they have enough time to get it filled out by then?
Let me say this. I had submitted my application on the deadline date. Just to say that
so
my
it's
comment.
never too late.
It's never too late. I
the website
submitted
isn't
it.
closed.
I submitted it on the deadline. I experienced technical difficulties on that day. But the key here is do not give up. Give your best. Once you've done that, then you leave the rest of the process. But submit what you need to.
And if somebody wants to find you guys, to contact you and ask you about how to answer questions and how to be successful, what would you, I mean, how can they find you all?
Once you want a easier way to go to the website, you can go on the U.S. Embassy Belize Facebook page, and you can directly get the link. You can call me, you can come by my work, message me on Facebook, because for the past month I have been answering questions. What is the process? How sure you sure I will get in? I'm not sure, but I am sure that if you put in your best will contribute back to you.
And the minimal criteria, 21 to 35,
yeah.
And
At
2
least
years.
2 years
professional experience, right? So like a recent graduate, maybe not, but somebody who's had some kind of time in the field that they're interested in.
Correct. I want to say that to anyone who wished to sit with me in person, I will be available to do that with you tomorrow, but contact me today in order for us to be able to set that up tomorrow. So you can reach me on Facebook, Karyn Dawson. That's with a Y.
Yes.
2
you
R's
and 1 Y.
You can also WhatsApp me at 632-5223.
And you also have your sign-up day today for
Of
your.
course,
don't forget your marketing opportunity here.
I didn't want to push it, but yes, again, for those who are interested in participating in our testing, we're doing country-wide testing. So even if you are all the way down in Toledo, all the way up north in Corozal, this is a great opportunity for you, because we're testing our services and working along with the shipping couriers. So this is great. Sign up at www.shapdabelize.com. Shop.belize.com.
Okay. Any final advice from you, Hernan?
Yes, with that said, I'm encouraging all Belizeans to apply. This is an amazing opportunity. Trust me, you will not regret this. Apart from expanding your business, you'll be joining a group of people who are very cultural. You'll be learning a lot about issues that are happening around the world. You'll be expanding your leadership skills. So this is an amazing opportunity. And trust me, once you come back from this, you won't be the same person anymore.
Let me also add, if I could, that the program specifically tries to provide you with the tools to succeed. It is all related costs are covered by the U.S. state, and upon returning, you really are given more opportunities. Hernan and I had the opportunity to go to Peru. There are other opportunities coming up, but these are for alumni who have been through the program. And I think Hernan and I now listen to more international news now because of the network that we've had. We find that we're more concerned about what's happening to our neighbors and things like that. So it's a great opportunity.
You know, and we should say that this is, of course, coordinated through the United States Embassy, and all costs are covered. It also gives people, a lot of people haven't been able to experience other parts of the world. They haven't been able to kind of get an understanding of how other parts of the world function. So it gives you that global perspective. And I think that in itself is a great value from this experience, in addition to the skills and the leadership qualities that you gain.
At the end of the day, it's not just work. When I went in just 1 month, I visited at least 11 states. At least 11 states, and I enjoyed myself. Let me just make this my final word and say, as the youth ambassador, I always like to leave a final word. Young people, whatsoever you do, just be the best. Where you come from, no matter who you know, just be the best. Do what you got to do, because this life, at the end of the day, what you put in is what you get out. And
there's the shot most people are jealous of. It was showing before, Hernan, your picture with former President Obama.
Yes, yes.
I'm sure a very meaningful experience for you guys. So once again, once you're between the ages of 21 to 35, you consider yourself a leader, aspiring to be a leader. You have 2 years professional experience. Go to the U.S. Embassy website, Facebook page, the Young Leaders of America's Initiative Facebook page, and apply. The deadline is this Friday.
Correct.
All right. Thank you all for coming in.
Thank you.
Thanks for
I'm
having
sure
us.
you've encouraged quite a number of young people to get involved. All right. We're going to go ahead now and take our final break. And when we come back, we'll have our wrap-up. So stay tuned.